Eric Clapton once said, if he could be anyone else, he'd be Rory Gallagher. And Jimi Hendrix, when asked what it was like to be the greatest guitarist alive, reportedly replied, I don't know, ask Rory Gallagher. Yet, outside of Ireland and die-hard music fans, Rory Gallagher's name is often overlooked. Today, we're telling the story of the Irish guitar hero whose battered Fender Stratocaster and raw passion inspired a generation of musicians, even if mainstream fame always seemed just out of reach. This is Rory Gallagher, the greatest guitarist you never knew. Rory Gallagher was born in 1948 in Ballyshannon, County Donegal, but grew up in Cork, Ireland. From the start, music called to him. His first guitar was a cheap acoustic from a mail-order catalogue, but it was enough. By age 9, Rory was already mimicking the blues licks he'd heard on American radio. In a country dominated by show bands and traditional folk music, Rory was drawn to something rawer. Muddy Waters, Chuck Berry, Lead Belly. These voices shaped his destiny. By the mid-1960s, Rory was fronting a trio called Taste, often compared to Cream. With Eric Clapton dominating the blues rock scene, Rory was Ireland's answer. Taste blended power trio energy with Rory's soulful voice and ferocious guitar playing. They toured relentlessly and even made it to Woodstock in 1969, a career highlight, though their set didn't make the original Woodstock film, but those who saw it knew this Irishman was something special. But like many bands, internal tensions and management issues had torn Taste apart by 1970. Rory, however, was just getting started. Going solo, Rory released a string of albums in the 1970s. Deuce, Tattoo and Against the Grain. They were raw, unpolished and bursting with energy. But Rory's reputation wasn't built in the studio, it was on the stage. He toured almost constantly, clocking over 300 shows some years, refusing the glamour of the rock star life. No leather pants, no big entourage, just plaid shirts, a battered Stratocaster and pure electricity. To see Rory Gallagher live was an experience. He could go from delicate acoustic ballads to blistering 15-minute blues jams that left the crowd breathless. There's a famous story, maybe myth, maybe truth, that a journalist once asked Jimi Hendrix, what's it like to be the greatest guitarist in the world? Hendrix supposedly replied, I don't know, ask Rory Gallagher. Whether that's true or not, the legend stuck. What is certain is that Gallagher was admired by his peers. Eric Clapton, Brian May, The Edge, Slash, all cite him as a massive influence. Despite his talent, Rory avoided the mainstream spotlight. He famously turned down an offer to join the Rolling Stones after Mick Taylor left in 1974. Why? He said he wanted to stay true to his own music. It was the same when Deep Purple came calling. Rory wanted to keep things authentic. No compromise, no chasing fame. Admirable? Yes. But it meant while contemporaries like Clapton and Zeppelin filled arenas, Rory remained a cult figure. The 1980s were harder. Rory battled alcoholism and increasing health problems. The same relentless touring schedule that built his legend also wore down his body. By the early 90s, Rory's health was visibly failing. Years of heavy drinking, exhaustion and later complications from a liver transplant took their toll. In 1995, Rory Gallagher passed away in London at just 47 years old. Though gone too soon, Rory's influence is everywhere. Brian May said it's Rory who introduced us to the idea of a guitar hero. The Edge of U2 often cites him as the reason he picked up a guitar. Rory's battered 1961 Stratocaster, worn down to bare wood, is as iconic as he was. It wasn't about flash, it was about heart, soul, and the truth in every note. In Cork today, there's a statue of Rory Gallagher, a permanent reminder of Ireland's greatest rock export. Rory Gallagher may never have sold out stadiums like the Stones or Zeppelin, but to those who witnessed him play, he was unforgettable. He wasn't chasing fame, he wasn't chasing trends. Rory lived for the music and gave everything he had until the very end. So when we talk about the greatest guitarists of all time, remember the name, Rory Gallagher. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this insight into the life of one of the most underappreciated rock legends of his time, or indeed any time. Hit like and subscribe, and put any suggestions for future videos you'd like to see next in the comment section below. This has been Signals of Sound, tuning out.